Beneath the veil of pine-scented air and postcard serenity, the Adirondacks hold a darkness that breathes in silence. The forest here is ancient, not just old, but watchful. Trees stand too still, their bark split like old wounds, branches gnarled into clawed fingers that scrape at the sky. When the wind dies, the silence is suffocating, as if the woods are listening. The lakes, black and bottomless, reflect nothing, and their shorelines are often littered with bones of deer, and sometimes not deer. Locals whisper of the whippoorwill curse, how the birds sing only when someone's about to die, how the lights flicker in the bogs where no one lives, and how some trails twist back on themselves, leading you deeper no matter which way you turn. And then there's the thing, not bear, not man, glimpsed at the edge of a firelight, its eyes like dull cools, and its breath thick with rot and earth. In the Adirondacks, you don't get lost. The woods keep you. Welcome. I'm your host. Most folks just call me Bigfoot. And this is Bigfoot Lake, where we share the things that creep in the forest, the voices that echo in the dark, and the eyes that watch when you think you're alone. Tonight's encounter is one you want to hear in the company of others, up close to the light of the fire. This story came to us directly from a listener who worked deep in the Adirondacks, wild country, where cell signals vanish and trees swallow sound. He thought he knew the woods until the woods started watching him. So, pull up a stump really close to the fire as we begin tonight's encounter. Our story comes from James, a seasoned trail steward for the Department of Environmental Conservation back in 2008. His job site? A stretch of wilderness near Long Lake in the central Adirondacks. Picture it, miles of pine, lakes with no names, trails that haven't seen a boot print in weeks. That was James's office. He sent us his story. What he told us, well, it shook us a bit. Here is James' encounter. I started with the DEC in 2006. My job was solo. I'd hike into remote backcountry sites, check campsites, clear debris, and make sure no one was trashing the forest. Most of the time, I was completely alone. No phone, no radio, just me and my pack. That September, I was assigned to check a lean-to near a lake called Grassy Pond. Not many folks go there. It's a 2-day hike in. I'd been there once before. It was peaceful. But this time, it felt different. From the moment I stepped off the main trail, it was quiet. Too quiet. No squirrels, no birds, just wind and trees. By the time I reached the lean-to, the sun was dipping low. I started a fire, ate a cold dinner, and laid down to sleep. That's when I heard the first sound. At first, I thought it was deadfall. Then I realized it was spaced out, intentional, like someone knocking. I called out, "Hey, hello out there," but nothing answers. Then it stopped. Sometime after midnight, I woke up. The fire had burned low, but the coals were still glowing, and I could hear footsteps, heavy ones. They weren't close, maybe 30 feet off, but they were circling the lean-to. At one point, it sounded like 2 sets, then 3. Big, heavy feet, bipedal, not deer. I held my knife. I didn't dare move. I thought maybe some big guys were messing with me, or bears. But bears don't walk like that. And then came the breathing. It was right behind the lean-to wall, like 8 feet off the ground. I didn't move, didn't breathe. Then it gave this sound, like a groan, but hollow, echoing. Not an animal I know. Then silence. Morning came and I stepped outside, cautiously. Nothing. No footprints, at least none I could clearly see. But something was left behind. On a boulder by the water was a rabbit. Dead. Neck broken. No blood, just snapped. And it was laid out, neatly, almost like an offering. That's when I felt I was watched. Like intensely. I don't know how to explain it. So I packed up, fast. On the hike out, the knocking started again. This time on both sides of the trail, answering each other. I didn't run. I didn't look back. I just kept walking. I finished my contract, but never returned to that site. And later, in a bar in Tupper Lake, I met an old hunter who told me a story nearly identical. Same lake, same howls. He said they come around when the air changes, when the nights get long. He called them the Watchers. Not animals, not men. He said, if you hear the knock, never knock back. I've checked the records. There are over 20 reported wood knocking incidents in that stretch of the Adirondack since 1990. No photos, no conclusive evidence, just stories, tracks, and howls. Skeptics say it's bears, or echoes, or hoaxes. I don't care what people think. I know what I felt, and I know how big those eyes were. And I know there was more than one. Something's out there in the deep woods, watching, waiting. Maybe it's a relic, maybe it's legend, or maybe the Adirondacks keep their secrets for a reason. Next time you hike off trail and the birds stop singing, ask yourself, are you alone or just being watched? Thanks for joining us by the fire. If you liked tonight's episode, hit that thumbs up, leave us a comment, and share Bigfoot Lake with someone who's not afraid of the dark. Until next time, keep your lantern lit and never, ever answer the knock.